close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.
So this is my first picture, and in this picture I was 8 months old, and this was my first Christmas. This picture was also taken at like a filming studio.
Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left.
This is my second picture, and in this picture I was 20 months old, and this was our first snowman, and this picture was taken in Dallas, Texas.
We'll go.
For my third picture, this is my first day of kindergarten, and I was 5 in this picture, and this was taken at Del Sur Elementary. These next two pictures are the day my sister was born. I was 8 years old, and this was taken at La Jolla Hospital. This was my first day of 4th grade. I was 9 years old, and this picture was taken at a school called Cheatham Elementary in Allen, Texas. This picture was taken when I was 11 years old, and this picture was taken in San Diego when me and my mom and my 2 sisters were on vacation. This is my last picture, and this picture was taken outside of my house, and this was my first day of 8th grade, also my little sister's first day of kindergarten, and my other little sister's first day of 6th grade, and I am 13. This is my family heirloom. It is a house dress worn in the 1950s. It is 70 years old, and it originated in Nebraska. And this is significant to my family because my great-great-great-grandma who wore it had 14 kids, and it was handmade.
See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number.
For my map, my dad's mom or my grandma was born in Caribou, Maine. My dad's dad or my grandpa was born in Morton, Illinois. My mom's mom or my grandma was born in Oshkosh, Nebraska. My mom's dad or my grandpa was born in Litchville, North Dakota. My mom was born in La Mesa, California. My dad was born in Dallas, Texas. My sister and I were born in Plano, Texas. And my other sister is born in San Diego, California. My dad's mom was born in Caribou, Maine, and she moved to Richardson, Texas, where she met my grandpa, and they had my dad and moved to Dayton, Ohio. From Dayton, they moved to Plano, where they live today. My dad's dad was born in Morton, Illinois, and he moved to Richardson, Texas, where he met my grandma. They had my dad and moved to Dayton, Ohio. From Dayton, they moved to Plano, and they still live there today. My mom was born in La Mesa, California, and she moved to Tucson for college. When she finished college, she moved back up to San Diego. From San Diego, she moved to Dallas, where she met my dad and had me and my sister. From there, she moved to San Diego again, and then we, as a family, moved back to Allen. Then from Allen, we moved back to Rancho Bernardo. My mom's mom was born in Oshkosh, Nebraska. She moved to San Diego, California, met my grandpa, and they were married for 53 years when she passed away in 2015. Next, we have my grandpa, or my mom's dad. He was born in Litchville and moved to San Diego when he was 8. There he moved up to Yellowstone National Park for a job and lived there for 4 months. Then he moved down to San Antonio, Texas. He lived there for a while and moved to Biloxi, Mississippi. From Biloxi, he moved to Fort Walton Beach, Florida. From Fort Walton Beach, he moved back up to San Diego, where he met my grandma, or my mom's mom. Then they moved to La Mesa, and he still lives in the same house that my mom was born in today. My dad was born in Dallas, Texas. From Dallas, he moved to Richardson, Texas, and then from Richardson, he moved to Plano. From Plano, he moved to San Marcos, Texas for college. Then when he was finished with college, he moved back up to Dallas. From there, he met my mom, had me and my sister, and moved to San Diego. Then from there, he had my other little sister, Daisy, and together as a family, we moved back to Allen. From Allen, after a few years, we moved back to Rancho Bernardo. Me and my younger sister Piper were born in Plano, Texas. From Plano, we moved to Denton. From Denton, our whole family moved to Rancho Bernardo and had our little sister Daisy. After a few years, we moved to Allen, Texas. We stayed there for a few years, and then we decided to move back to Rancho Bernardo, where we live today. This is my mom's family tree. This is her dad's side. Louis and Henry are my great-great-grandfathers. Anna and Helga are my great-great-grandmothers. Louis is my great-grandfather, and Elvira is my great-grandmother. Curtis is my grandfather. This is my mom's side. Godfrey and Charles are my great-great-grandfathers. Emma and Martha are my great-great-grandmothers. Paul is my great-grandfather, and Bertha is my great-grandmother. Jacqueline is my grandmother. This is my grandpa. His name is Curtis Dwayne Miller, and these are a few photos of him, including his wedding, him with my little sister, and Christmas. Let's start with some questions. The first one is, how is he related to me? And he is my mom's dad or my grandpa. The second question is he living or deceased? And he is living. The third question is, where does he live? And he lives about 30 minutes from here. He lives in La Mesa, California. And finally, why did I choose him? I chose him because he's outgoing, hilarious, and has some pretty funny stories. This is my dad, Ronald Joseph Sineni Jr., and this is a typical day in his life. He wakes up at about 3:30 every morning, and he goes to work about an hour away. He is an executive manager at a book company. He buys used books and resells them. Then he comes home and he makes us dinner. We usually have something fancy like this. And if there's any NFL games on or anything like that, he likes to watch them. And then he goes to bed relatively early, about 8:30, because he wakes up really, really early. This is my mom, Christy Jo Sineni's typical day in her life. She wakes up at about 4:30 and she takes a shower. Then she makes us breakfast. We usually have pancakes and a smoothie. Then she takes my little sister Daisy to school, and she works in Marsh & McLennan Companies. She's an insurance broker. She usually does some type of workout or yoga at her work, and she goes to bed at 9:30. This is me, Gianna Sineni's typical day in the life. I wake up at about 6:30 and I get on the bus and I go to school, and then when school's over I come home on the bus and I do homework and I get ready for cheer because I have cheer some days, and then I come home from cheer and go to bed at about 10. This is one of my sister, Piper Renee Sineni's typical day in her life. She wakes up at about 6:45 and gets on the bus just like me, and we go to school. And then she gets back on the bus and she comes home. If she has homework, she does it, or she likes to watch TV if she doesn't have homework. And then she gets ready for cheer if she has it as well. And then she goes to bed at about 9. This is my youngest sister, Daisy Marie Sineni, typical day in the life. It usually starts at about 7 a.m. and she likes to watch TV for about an hour in the mornings. Then my mom takes her to school. She's in kindergarten at Chaparral Elementary. Then when she comes home, she likes to play with her Barbie dolls and goes to bed at 7:30. This is our family. Our chores are dishes, folding clothes, bathrooms, and vacuuming. Our recreation is cheer, swim. Our parents work out in open gyms, kind of like gymnastics. Our holidays that we celebrate are Christmas, 4th of July, Easter, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and basically any other holiday. We eat meat, veggies, fruit, and cereal. Our family celebrations are birthdays, reunions, baptisms, and church every Sunday. That's not really a holiday, but I still put it in there. Here's my papa's day in the life. His chores were mowing. He ate cereal, eggs, bacon, and pancakes. His recreation was motor scooter riding. His family celebrations were birthdays and holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and New Year's. So our holidays and family celebrations and meals were basically the same, but anything else was kind of different. My grandpa took the same subjects we do: math, English, science, history, and PE. His elective was woodshop. He went to school for 6 hours a day and he had 6 teachers. His extracurricular was wrestling, which then replaced his PE period. His grades were mostly A's, B's, a few C's here and there, but most of the time he had D's in English. His punishments were different than ours though. There were only 2 punishments: suspension and redoing a grade. He had to do 5th grade twice because the last week of school he got a suspension, which then led to him having to redo the entire grade again the following year. So far, my education experience is a bit different from my grandpa's. First of all, my elective. I take advanced art. Second, I do PE and not wrestling. Third, I'm an AB student. While he struggled in English, I do great in English, but I sometimes struggle in math and he did good in math. Finally, we have all kinds of punishments, not just 2. We have suspension, detention, being able to get expelled, and many more. These are my grandpa and mine goals. His were to get out of high school as fast as possible, and mine are to graduate 8th grade, high school, and college. They contrast because he wanted to get out fast, and I want to kind of take it slowly so I have good grades. The results of his goals are he went to the Air Force for 4 years, and he did this because he did not want to go to college. This project has been so fun. My grandpa and I are the same and different in many ways. He was better at some subjects in school than others, and vice versa. We are both athletic, and some of our family traditions are the same. Overall, from this project, I've learned so much about my ancestors that I never even knew existed.